r/AskReddit. What do you keep from your partner? The reason I'm so good at gifts and they seem so thoughtful is that I keep a list on my phone for whenever she says she wants or likes something. It seems like I have this great memory, but instead I just wrote it down when you said it 6 months ago. I extended it into the in-laws to help on holidays, as we usually send from the both of us. When I used to go away on 2-week-long work trips, every damn time I got home, my wife and daughter had always gone through all the toilet paper, could never finally just get home and take a peaceful quiet break. So finally I just started hoarding toilet paper from the hotels I stayed at, hiding them high in the back of the closet. They never knew. My ex and I really liked this low-key underrated song. My wife heard the same song on my list and fell in love for it. She always blasts it on the radio when we are on the car. I know if I were to tell her that it is also my ex-girlfriend's favorite song it would ruin for her. So I just let her be happy. I've been binge eating for the last several years. I would get banana bread, cake, loaves of bread, entire meals at Indian restaurants, containers of ice cream, etc. and eat whatever it was in the car and then throw away the evidence before going home. A couple months ago I finally told him what I've been doing. So he started running errands for me, or coming with me, or letting me drag my son everywhere with me. It's helped. A few days ago I decided that I wasn't going to hide anything anymore and brought home a container of mango sorbet. I've eaten less than 1/4 of it over 3 days. Before I would have eaten the entire 800-calorie container plus a loaf of banana bread in the car in one sitting. And would have done that maybe more than once. Bodily functions. More specifically bathroom time. I shut the door. Every single time. She don't give a damn. Wide open. That I'd read coming home after work. Or sitting at the dinner table with her. Or dealing with her crankiness when she goes to bed. Depression changes people. It makes them selfish, sensitive, defeated, and highly irritable. I understand depression enough to know it's largely not her fault. She was entirely different before the depression set in. If I hint in any way how hard it is to be around her, she breaks down and can't function. So I smile, listen, and pretend I'm happy to be around her, for her sake. How empty my brain is most of the time. Like I'm just sitting there starting off into the distance, and he asks what I'm thinking about. Usually I'm honest and say I zoned out, but I'm zoned out like 90% of the time. The depths of my fears and frustrations about having cancer, and the fatalistic jokes I make about it, I don't share them with my husband, because he's having a hard time with my diagnosis. His wife has cancer. It's eventually gonna kill her. He's obviously stressed out about the whole situation. Instead, I share my darker and more irrational thoughts with a psychologist at the cancer center. He doesn't need to know every worst case scenario that my anxiety comes up with. He does need to know that I have a will and an MDPOA, and where they are, in case shit actually goes sideways. He doesn't like to hear me joke about my 3/4 life crisis or silly funeral ideas, so I don't do it when he's around. He doesn't need to know about my poop. If it gets to the point where he does need to know about it, I'll look into hiring a nurse or CNA to make his life and his job as a caregiver easier. The existence and location of peanut butter in the house. He sleep eats and has eaten the whole jar at once more than once. I like to have a spoonful as a snack every now and then. If he doesn't know we have any/where it is, I can make a small jar last a month or more. How much my prior relationship truly messed me up. She knows a little bit about it, but not to the extent it has shaped me in relationships. I feel like I don't want to bring it up, because I don't want to be that guy blaming everything on an ex. She thinks I don't pee in the shower, but I sometimes do. It's a spreadsheet called If the Shit Hits the Fan. I made it when we were going through a rough patch in our relationship concurrently with my going through a rough patch at work. Pretty much. I felt like I was going to get dumped and fired, and the only thing that allowed me to sleep at night was keeping a running tally of all my assets and how long those would sustain my kids and me if I got fired and dumped at the same time, as well as the cost of my preferred floor plan at every apartment complex zoned for my kids' schools. We are doing great now. Have been for some time. Works awesome. 2. I still keep the spreadsheet updated. It keeps the anxiety down. That I had. In fact, read a book series. He had a book containing the entire collection and somehow thought I hadn't read it. He was so excited to read it with me that I didn't have the heart to say anything. So we reread the entire series aloud over the course of many months. How much I really miss my grandmother. She died, and how often I burst out in tears, and how depressed I'm because of that. My dog likes to poop on the rooftop balcony while I work from home around 11:30 am. She gets excited and comes and asks to be let out. She does her business and goes and naps. I pick it up and flush it. It's been our thing for months now. We have a backyard. The dog does poop there many times. The dog gets walks. Plenty of pooping time in her life. But it's her routine now. To come into my work area about 11:30 am. Asks to get let out of the balcony door. Poops then naps. It seems to make her happy to poop there. Spouse does not know. Nor would he approve of the rooftop balcony poops. Edit. Typo. The fact that I'll propose to her in a few weeks. Good thing she doesn't use any social media. Right now what's going on in my life? Normally I would say it's an extremely unhealthy dynamic to have in a relationship. But he's overwhelmed with all the problems coming from COVID. He's at risk. A family member of his is really sick. Our lease is up. And personal issues as well. Right now he just can't keep track of everything that's happening. I'm kind of tired of the misunderstandings. Feeling frustrated when he can't remember. Or feeling ignored. I'm keeping a journal though. So I can keep track. As well as to have a record to talk to him about later. I know he's trying his best. He wants to listen. But now is just one of those bad times. There's one thing that I hide from my wife. My goddamn phone charger. I swear to Odin she cannot keep up with the charger. I'm down to one charger I take with me to different rooms. If I don't need it, I hide it in my closet. Like a child. My wish list on Amazon and bookmarks of gifts I plan to buy for him in the future. Nice try, Stacy. I'll let my cat drink from the tap. Please don't tell her. How terrified I am that he's going to leave me. I have no real reason to think he plans on leaving me, but it's just something that probably won't ever go away. I love him so much, and I know he loves me, but I'm still so scared. That I write a bit of erotica on the side. She'd be thrilled and supportive, but I'm just too embarrassed. I used to be a Shutters theater kid. How unhappy I am. I know a lot more of her previous sexual partners and hookups than she thinks I do. I have no reason to bring them up, and I don't want her to be self-conscious about it. About 75% of my love for them, so they don't think him crazy or smothering. Edit. 75%. I like fractions. How much I hate myself. It would hurt her. The French fries at the bottom of the bag. She gave me a teddy bear holding a heart with the words I love you. I still keep it with me. I think my wife sorta knows about my other account where I writing downer, but full of short stories and long comments. But I don't think she's really read any other them or know kinda gross they are. It's like she's keeping them from herself on my behalf. Thanks, lady. Work stuff. I work in a hospital and I have a fragile population of patients. Sometimes they die. I've tried to talk to him about it in the past when I have a sad one, but he didn't really get it. I understand. It's uncomfortable talking about death. So now if I have a crummy day or difficult case I just say that and go for a run or drink a few glasses of wine and save the talking for my coworkers who can relate. I was high basically the entire first month of quarantine. I'm typically an occasional smoker. Once or twice a week and my wife is aware of this. After I lost my job to COVID I was on the verge of a mental break. A friend came through and gifted me a sizable supply of his grade A bud and I essentially spent that first month in a haze of working out and watching movies. After the first month I started to cut back and face reality sober, only popping down to the dispensary once a month. It's been tough, and I haven't smoked in a month, since I'm starting a new job soon, but I know my wife would not approve, justifiably, of me using weed as a crutch for that first month. Why did I hide it? Because I would have ran. We had finally gotten our life on track after a few rough years, and having it all snatched away was just comically cruel. I'm doing okay now, but I don't know how I would have survived April otherwise. My chocolate. If he so much as thinks of touching it. So help me Lord lol. For some reason he feels the need to hide that he masturbates from me, so now I've gotten into the habit of hiding that I masturbate. I seriously don't know if he knows I do that. We've been together 10 years. Awkward to bring it up now. Farts. I will do just about anything not to let one go when we're together. Not a new relationship. Just holding on tightly to that dignity/sense of attraction. Any and all surprises I have in store for him. His face is absolutely adorable when I give him a really cool surprise. The best was when I got him a husky puppy lol, drove him all the way out to where we were getting it from with him desperately trying to figure out what we were doing lmao. I fart a lot. When she's near I always keep it in. And after a while my stomach hurts. Not good for me, probably, but I'd be very embarrassed to tell her about it. How much it actually costs getting my hair done. He thinks I'm getting a color cut and blow dry for 70 quid, and that it's crazy expensive. It's actually 200, but he doesn't need to know the truth. That's the only thing kept from him, and really, it's in his best interest. My wife thinks video games are a waste of time and brain cells. It's a hobby of mine that she begrudgingly tolerates. She likes classical music, though. There are a few orchestral tracks on she likes when I play when we are getting busy in the bedroom. I've told her they are lesser known works by Dvorak and Schubert. Almost all video game soundtracks. Never Rising, To Faraway Times, Sovngarde, to Zanarkand, Nathan Drake's theme, Aerith's theme, just to pick a few. That the KFC Double Down holds a special place in my heart as well. I'm in a fairly new relationship and I refuse to keep anything from him. At 44 and getting out of a horrible marriage from someone who kept most everything from me, there is just no way I can put someone through the hurt that I did. Being open and honest is the only way to be. Sappy or not IDC. THC vape pen. She would smoke the whole thing. The fact that I don't want to be alive anymore. No, I'm not going to kill myself. I can't stand the amount of selfishness and idiocy I'm surrounded by on a daily basis. I'm actually sorry that I brought two people into this horrible world. I say a tiny agnostic prayer every night to whoever, whatever may or may not be listening, in hopes I die in my sleep. I mean, I'll take it however I can get it. Even some Final Destination shit. Just roll credits already. This has been a terribly disappointing and depressing movie. Her snacks when she needs help with rationing. We are super open otherwise, including porn. The type of porn I watch. I kept some credit card debt from them. Oof, 0/10ths recommend. Came clean. I thought they were going to leave. Thankfully they didn't. TL, doctor don't keep secrets. My phone password. Not my partner, but we like each other and are trying to work it out. He knows everything about me, except maybe how much I like him. Toenail clippings. She also doesn't know that I keep them. Raiding her bathroom trash bin every night. Nor does she know that we are partners yet. But my hope is to save them up and make them into a small diorama house to give to her on our 5th anniversary as a mock-up of our forever home. We're trying to have a baby and have been trying for a few months. No luck so far. I feel like it's my fault. It probably isn't. But I feel so much guilt. Everyone around me is having babies and getting pregnant. I feel left behind. I also have a genetic disorder that gives me a high risk for miscarriages. My partner knows all that. This helps with the guilt. But that's a story for another day. My only secret is that sometimes I get a 5-layer burrito from Taco Bell before coming home. It's the treat yourself thing and I feel like it won't bother anyone, so I don't say anything. My strawberry smiggles. Oh, I love me strawberry smiggles. Oh, I hope she never gets her hands on me and tries to steal my strawberry smiggles. I'm going to eat every last one of them because then they'll be in my stomach and she will never be able to eat them. Bodily functions. The reasons why I like sitting in my own chair isn't that I'm cold or distant. It's so I can fart with reckless abandon, because the ultra plush upholstery muffles the noise and the natural airflow in our house always puts me downwind of her. As many times as she's chewed me out for actually encountering my farts, 5% of the time, it's only because we're away from the house and I'm trying to maintain a safe distance to drop my belly bomb. But she ends up teleporting back to me and right into my exorcised gut demon. The biggest thing I keep from my wife is that I'm terrified that she will grow up to be like her mother. Her mother is a very nice person and has been very good to me, loves her grandkids, etc. But it always seems to me that she doesn't really love her husband. They live fairly happily together, but they seem like roommates more than husband and wife. I just don't ever want to feel that way about my wife. Any story, real life anecdote, news article, movie or book where the dog gets hurt. He just can't handle it. What I buy from Target mostly, but also that I pee in the shower. It doesn't take me that long to poop. I'm just taking a break on my phone. I eat way more sweets than he knows. And if I'm ever grabbing my own butt, it's because I'm slightly spreading my cheeks so I can silently 2D. I know she messed up our relationship. I work day shift one week, evening shift next week and night third week and a week off, and start from day week again. During the weeks of evening shifts, she was texting other guys, all sorts of stuff. She even cheated. I know. She knows I know some of it, but not all of it. Just waiting for the right moment to kick her out. I'm at least a kind and sweet person, unlike her. Sorry, English isn't my native language. Actually feels good to tell at least one person about it. He has really long hair and it drives me crazy. It gets everywhere. Yesterday he accidentally froze a hair in our ice cube tray. We had to get a hair trap because he kept clogging the shower. I won't tell him to cut his hair though, because he loves it more than it drives me crazy. I bet I drive him crazy with my endless chatter. We are quarantining too, so it never stops. I try to stop, but I'm extremely bored. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. He can keep his long hair if it makes him feel good. Presents, gifts hidden away for occasions throughout the year. That I'm lonely and that I constantly think of breaking up. We do not have shared finances. This is good because I have a small mess with the eyes, the result of stupidity on my part. There's a payment plan. I just don't want him to know because it's just embarrassing to me. I'm not normally that stupid. The fact that she is imaginary, also 9 corpses buried in our lawn. How bad my depression and eating disorder really are. How bad my family abandoning me really has affected me. My insecurities. The fact that I dream about being with other girls because she doesn't hug me enough. That I have scoliosis. It's not bad. It's barely scoliosis, according to my doctor. But I was so ashamed of that fact as a kid that it's embedded in my mind to never tell any of my partners. I don't even think friends know either. My husband isn't eat fast food. He doesn't know that I've been getting a 20-piece chicken nuggets and a Noria shake at McDonald's every time I go out to buy groceries, which is about once a month. It's been my routine for the past 7 years. I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for the past 3 years. I'm a guy myself, so that should make me gay. Thing is, I recently found out how, after all, I'm sexually and romantically attracted to women as well, and I can't bring myself to tell him. I'm afraid this fact will change our relationship. That's why I'm keeping this for myself and Reddit now. I'm planning to marry this man anyway, so I'll probably keep my bisexuality as a secret till that day I'll die. The last donut. It's mine. The sheer amount of money I spend on Magic and Warhammer. I wish they bought me a birthday gift or gave me compliments sometimes. Not my partner, but I keep all of my problems from friends and family. It's easier that way. I Hate Fortnite. My huge back of tropical starburst in the drawer beneath my nightstand. My disgustingly degenerate porn collection and associated kinks. I hate tattoos. He has a tattoo and wants more. But it's his body, so I don't say anything. Kinda sad. So don't read. If you don't want to read venti stuff, I don't trust him as much as he thinks I do. He broke my trust more than once. But to my knowledge he still trusts me with everything he has, because I never wronged him, and he told me that himself. When he asks if I trust him, I hesitate. It kills me. I just miss when my trust in him was still intact. But there's still a small amount of hope left in me. I don't trust him, but I want to so very much.